Hello and welcome everyone to the inventRight TV show. My name is Andrew Krause. I co-founded inventRight 21 years ago, and we've been coaching and mentoring inventors ever since. And I co-founded the business with Stephen Key, and we've had students in over 65 countries. We are celebrating 50,000 subscribers, and we're having some of our fans on to tell their stories about some products they've been working on. So we have Carine Rosalia on today, and Carine, welcome. Rosalia. I got it. There you go. I got it right. Sometimes people say my name's Andrew Cross. No, it's Krause. But so you have this really cool product called Lunch Squares. And so sometimes people are like, I want to see the product. So let's just look at the product, guys. And then we'll do the interview and Carine's going to tell you her story. So here we go.
Hi, my name is Carine. I created a special lunch kit after realizing that this was driving me nuts. Mornings are always hectic. Who has the time to make Pinterest perfect lunches every day? I tried many things. The plain old sandwich. Boring! Last night's dinner. And not great cold. The store-bought lunch.
That's it?
There had to be a better way. So I worked with engineers and nutritionists.
Is this corn?
And even confronted some of the toughest food critics.
Is that sugar?
Until it clicked. The results is an all-in-one kit. So families can prepare lunches ahead of time without having to scramble in the mornings. And put the kids to work too. Kids help out pick fresh vegetables with illustrated recipes.
Carrots.
Families make the recipes together with kid-friendly instructions.
Broccoli.
It's like craft time, except no glue or glitter cleanup, and you don't need extra shelf space to store the art.
Cutty family.
No hassle. Goes from oven to fridge to lunchbox. And kids have fun customizing with the stickers and pens. Easy, right? Transform a chore into fun.
Have one too.
Okay, we're back. Carine, that was a really cool product. Really, really fun. I have an 8-year-old. It makes sense.
I'm glad you like it. Yeah, that's what I've been working on for a few years, and I currently sell on Amazon, and it's been an interesting journey going from concepts to selling. So, yeah.
So it took you a while to get to the Amazon point. Well, let's talk about the product really quickly, and then let's talk about your journey. You had a little Kickstarter experience, and now you're having Amazon experience. And then I want to talk to you. You're doing a lot of different things in your life, how you're balancing things. I think that would be interesting to talk to you about. But the product itself, let's just the basics. Where's the market for this? What do you think is the...
Yeah, so what I invented was a container that can go in the oven, in the microwave, and that would be slim so that you don't have to fill up your cupboard with big, food containers. So yeah, it kind of slims down to the size of a smartphone. And yeah, so I was trying to sell versatility and just easing life primarily for parents, but now I'm expanding to women, men, and trying to reach that population and make their life easier.
So it could be like a piece of Tupperware. You can throw the Cheerios in it. You could bake a quiche in it. You can do all sorts of stuff with this. But your point of difference is, the plastic containers aren't good for the microwave. So this one, I'm assuming, is silicone.
Yep, it's silicone, so it's super light and it's versatile because it goes in all kind of temperatures and just you can put it in a kid's bag, so you don't have to be afraid of shock. It's just you can do anything with it.
It's kind of fun that you or the kids can draw with a dry erase marker on the top of it too. That's cool.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so you start. What is it fair to say one of the places you started is Kickstarter? We're gonna.
Yes, I think that was the big kind of more public moment. There's a lot of work that goes into and concepting that goes into before Kickstarter.
A lot,
so I think,
right?
Yes.
You mentioned like a pre-interview. You said to use your own words for Kickstarter, it was all-consuming. So can you tell our audience why you felt like Kickstarter was all consuming?
Yeah, so I think there are two ways to use Kickstarter, but certainly a dominant way. I mean, it's a way to test the market, right? It's a way to see before you really, get thousands and thousands of units and really see if there's a market, right? But you can't just put something online and expect people to come, right? You have to you have to have something to present, and to present well, you got to put some money and some effort into it. So that means getting a video, getting some professional shots, getting in my case, I got a PR, firm to really try to reach people to actually
Can we
tune in.
talk a little bit about that? Because there's people out there. It's not what it used to be. People would just go on there. Wasn't so many people, but now people are spending 25K with PR firms to raise 100K. So that's not as grassroots as it used to be. Is it something that people with barely two pennies to rub together can go on and raise money? My perception is not, that it doesn't really work that way anymore.
Right. It really depends what you want to get out of it, right? If you're really wanting to put it on and get 100 people to try to give you feedback, and then you don't really care if it funds or not, then sure, you can, that's one platform.
Oh.
But I think most people want to really put their effort behind so that they can see, what does it look like if and this is the first time that you're in public, you're really presenting your product. I wanted to give it a fair shot, so that meant contracting a lot of things out, and that meant
I think some people misperceive Kickstarter, and it's like, okay, I'll just go on Kickstarter, I'll raise $200,000 and I'll have a company, I'm good. What would you say to that?
Say, great. I love your enthusiasm and optimism. You have to be prepared to do the work. You have to be prepared. If you want results, I think you have to be maybe a little bit more modest in your goals, and really try to give it your all. But if you're really just trying to see, this is an initial concept, and I really don't know if people are going to like it, or what defaults they might see, and you want to collect that feedback publicly, then that's
Okay. That's a good point. That it's a good. Of course, you're putting yourself out there, and that can be risky. And so some of the downsides, I think, of Kickstarter is when people see that you're successful, there's some people out there that will knock you off and get it on Amazon before you even finish your Kickstarter campaign. You didn't have a hugely successful Kickstarter campaign, so you didn't have that problem, so people don't want to knock you off. So if you're under the radar, maybe it's okay. But people are trolling Kickstarter for ideas to steal. They'll typically do that when a product is successful. People that don't have a social media network, they're going to need to spend a ton of money with a PR firm. And most inventors don't have this giant social media network to push out to. You did it with friends and family and stuff. So people usually fail to launch a proper campaign to really raise any money or get any traction. Then when they do raise the money, they fail to be able to manufacture it because there's so many pitfalls there. And then when they're able to manufacture it, they then deliver it. But let's say you got 1,000 orders or 2,000 orders, and then all that money and all that effort, it's like, okay, now I got 2,000 orders. I delivered them successfully for the people that do. But if you go to a retailer, brick and mortar retailer, and you say, I did 2,000 orders on Kickstarter, they'll be like, okay, that's not exciting to us. So now you're back to square one. So this perception that you're going to go on there, raise $500,000, it can get you going, but you're still kind of back to square one, depending on how much you raise. Maybe you got massive traction, but most people don't. So was any of that inaccurate? And do you have anything to add to any of that ramble? What are your thoughts?
No, I'll just add more to your point, in that. So you have to map out the whole journey, right? For Kickstarter, you can't just start thinking about manufacturing if you're successful. You really have, you're committing yourself to the people on Kickstarter that you've mapped this out. Now, I did in my case, yet when I successfally funded the Kickstarter, and the next day or maybe a few hours, my manufacturer dropped me. So it's like, I mean, at the same time that I'm like, popping the champagne. I'm like, I am really back to, square one, to use your expression. So, but with every, I know it's super cliche, but with every failure, with every setback, I learned a ton and ended up miles away. I mean, miles ahead. You have to have some distance to realize that. With every, every setback, it came something good. But that was one instance where I connected with great people afterwards.
Let's move on to other parts of your journey. So you're, correct me if I get this, if I'm wrong on this. So you're an attorney, you're a mom, you're venturing this product, and then you're also working on, or going towards working on, licensing some products. Because like you and I talked about, you can't like start a company and venture and sell this product and then do a bicycle product over there and a gardening product over there, because it's different distribution channels. So attorney, mom, entrepreneur, selling this product on your own, and you're working on licensing products. How do you balance all that? And do you intend on venturing more products, or you're like, I'm kind of understanding why licensing makes sense? Or do you really feel like really cool and interacting with people on Amazon and getting reviews and stuff? So what are some of the upsides and downsides of each with you?
All right, so I'll break it up in two pieces. The
great.
balancing, well, I have an understanding family. Let's put it this way. Now, I mean, they know that's where my passion is. I mean, both my attorney job, I love it. I love my family. I mean, every piece has a bit of my heart, but also every piece complements each other. My mom journey inspired my product, which then inspired the other product, and the legal side, I guess, is very separate, but that's also a part of me. So anyway, so they balance each other out in my interest. They fulfill a part of me, and therefore there is some kind of spiritual balance. I'm not sure that's the right term, but so that's one piece. As far as like how the comparing the venture and the licensing. So I'm super grateful for everything that I learned from, making a product and marketing, selling, and so on. There's a lot of I need to learn more, of course, but this has informed so first of all, I realized that my passion is more in the inventing than in the selling, right? And I feel like there's a lot more effort to make, and when you're going on social media, everybody can go on social media, but to do it well and to actually get a return on investment, you really gotta put grind. I mean, it's a lot of labor. So that gives me a better appreciation for licensing and for people, because you're trying to sell it to a company that's going to do all that grunt work that I'm trying to take back from. And so, for example, some people think, are a little shocked when they learn about the royalties, that nobody's getting 30%, royalties, and it makes sense to me because I understand the whole journey. So I understand. Sure. I think everybody's role a little better. I think I can create better products or concepts because I understand what is costly on shipping, what manufacturing, what you need to focus on, and why this needs to be cut out because that just, or why you should have it in one color instead of 15 because that's extra work on the manufacturing, which means a more expensive product. So each piece informs the other. As far as my goals, well, I am launching a new line to lunch squares, so I'm growing it, but keeping in with the specific product, right? It's going to be a new line and new colors and new size, but this is lunch squares is a container and a bit of a lifestyle. But on the other end, I'm looking at I have about 15 concepts for toys. I have 2 that I'm trying to license also in kitchenware. And so, but those are separate. They're not quite the audience of lunch squares. They are not silicone based. They're so I can't just add them to my store and just try to diversify too much. They're kind of running their own little courses.
Well, you've got a great attitude. You've had some struggles and you consider them learning experiences. And I think that's great. And you're taking a look at both business models, and you're, at this time you're going to continue to venture Lunch Squares and sell it. But at some point, are you considering licensing that one as well if you get tired of the grind?
Yeah, I certainly entertain that idea. I mean, yeah, I continue to learn from it and to enjoy that process. But I certainly understanding more about licensing means I'm also open to that.
But that's key. I mean, you have to enjoy running the business as much as the product when you're venturing, and at this time, it seems like you're still enjoying it. So, why would you license it right now? Because you're enjoying that. Some inventors, they get to a point where they're not anymore. You might be there a year or two from now. You might not. You might grow this line, and like you said, it's kind of your baby, and you might grow it quite a bit. Maybe you're on Amazon now. Maybe you start to get some brick and mortar distribution. You'd mentioned some distributors you were looking at that, but it wasn't quite. Why wasn't that working for you? How come you didn't want to go that direction?
Yeah, so you mentioned that I have quite a few pot on the boiler. I'm not the irons in the fire. So it's also helped me focus on things, and understanding what works for me and what is too demanding on my time. For example, I've contemplated some retailers that do drop shipping, but at the end of the day, I just don't have that kind of time in my day where I can really just handle a lot of the shipping. Amazon has the benefit when you do FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, is that they for a fee for sure, but yeah, you send them the product and they're going to handle the whole thing. I'm not. There's some customer service, but it's limited compared to the involvement.
So you've decided not to go brick and mortar because you don't have the bandwidth right now, and you like the online sales of the Amazon because you can manage that with your attorney job, being a mom, trying to license some other products, working on this. Judge got a lot of irons in the fire, and I don't know. I think that's level. I think it's a level-headed way of looking at it.
Thank you.
Your product has a lot of potential. It's very cute. Do you think people really see the point of difference? Yeah, I think we were talking about that. That'll be the last question. Has it been hard to make it clear the point of difference? Did you not do as good a job before, and now you're doing a better job? Did you always do a good job of that? They're like, are people like, oh, it's just another Tupperware thing? Some people might look at it and say that.
Yeah, so I think, what you and I talked about offline a little bit is that I've pivoted. I've kind of refined the product to what it is now. I started with having this idea for a system where so I was really trying to sell the lifestyle of you can bake in it. So I'm going to sell the recipes. I'm going to sell, just really trying to show.
You had like a whole cookbook with it and everything too.
Yeah, I do. I still do.
Did you feel like that was more what you wanted it to be and not what the market was asking for? Or it was just too hard to explain and sell, so you pivoted? And that says a lot about you as a marketer that you made that change.
Thank you. What I learned pretty on, because I like pitching, and so I did some pitch competition, and the judges would have that question about, we like it, we're but what is it? Really, we couldn't quite get to it. And so I found that I had to do a lot of educating, and they would understand it. But what they told me and is that you need to put a lot of money if you're going to educate your customers about something new, about a concept. Of course, they're big companies, and we're grateful for them for, because they disrupt and they bring something new. But
hard for a small company to do when you're selling it yourself. You just don't have the money to educate that much. So you made the product more simple, straightforward, something people could identify with without too much explanation, which says a lot about you as a marketer. And if you're licensing or venturing, you have to adjust. Sometimes inventors are so in love with the idea the way it is. They're like, this is how it is, this is how it is, and they're selling it themselves or they're licensing it, and they start to get inflexible. They get themselves in trouble, and you had the flexibility to change. You might have been even a little resistant at first. Took you a little while maybe, which is normal. Because you got to believe in yourself too. Sometimes you just go, no, this is how it's going to work, and you keep pushing through and it works. And other times you're like, okay, it's not working, and you switched it up. Now, you guys, down below in the description, there's going to be a link where you can buy this product because we want to support everybody we're interviewing. But right now, as of today, this interview is on May 25th, 2021. It's out. Is it out of stock at the moment?
Yes, it's out of stock, and we're coming back with a bang because there's going to be the normal size and then a new line. So in July.
But we'll put the Amazon link down below. Can they get it off your website though? Do you have enough if it's not it's not on Amazon? So they can get it off your website right now. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll put both links. So if you want to buy it right away, you can buy it off our website. In the future, if you want to buy it on Amazon, because we just buy everything on Amazon, don't we? It's like I have no idea how much money I spend with those people. But thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being a fan. It's like I always say, it's one thing for Stephen and myself to come on and talk about this, but when somebody has some lessons within their own recent personal experience, it means a lot to our fans. And thank you for being a fan of the show too.
Big fan. So, yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Take care. Keep inventing, everybody. We'll catch up with you next time. See ya. Bye.
There's a great idea in each of us. But it's truly magical to see it come to life. Sharing your creativity with the world has never been easier. We can help.